Welcome to It's Unusual to Be Here, and I'm not Tom Schmitz, by the way. This hour for me, I'm Buddy Martin. The program is called The Voice of Ocala. Today is the special edition of Ask the Cops, presented by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. In just a moment, our guest is Major Terry Bavard, in charge of Homeland Security, who's got some interesting information to share with you today. Since we only have a live 1 hour program today, coming up at hour 2 is the restaurant and food show, which people always like to hear about. Makes you hungry for the weekend. And, of course, our rewind on the Southern Pigskin tonight, which if you haven't heard, you won't want to miss, coming up at 5 o'clock with lots of stuff there. Meanwhile, Tom Schmitz in the house going to update us. And, of course, we'll talk a moment about Billy Donovan. And it's time for Ask the Cops. Tom, what are the headlines?
Buddy, Baltimore's chief prosecutor charged 6 police officers on Friday with crimes, including murder and manslaughter, in the arrest and fatal injury of Freddie Gray, this according to the New York Times. A strikingly and swift turn, if you remember, this has drawn national attention. The state's attorney of Baltimore, Marilyn J. Mosby, said she filed the charges as soon as she received a medical examiner's report that ruled Freddie Gray's death a homicide. The police had concluded their investigation yesterday, had handed over their findings to the district attorney's office. Officials had cautioned it could take a considerable time for her office to complete its own investigation to decide whether to prosecute or not, but she decided to prosecute, and 5 of the 6 officers have been taken into custody. So 6 officers indicted on murder and manslaughter charges in the case in Baltimore.
I guess they figured out there was an extra stop in there they didn't know had been made.
Right.
Which was a red flag of some sort.
Last night, the draft went according to plan. If you like chalk, Jameis Winston, the number 1 overall pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Marcus Mariota, the number 2 overall pick to the Tennessee Titans. And the Jacksonville Jaguars were the 3rd pick. Take number 6 from the University of Florida, Dante Fowler Jr. So
pretty much like we thought it would
just
fall.
like we thought it would go. So Jameis Winston, maybe his lawyer was right where he said he's ready to play ball physically, but he's not ready for the NFL mentally. Tweeted out a photo in a Tampa Bay hat and a platter of crab legs in front of him, which he took down about 3 hours later. Buddy, you know this game. I'm sure somebody from Tampa probably called and said, you might want to remove that from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And the news of the day in Gainesville and Ocala, after 19 years, 2 national championships, Billy Donovan steps down as University of Florida coach to take the Oklahoma City Thunder job. 6 years, $30 million. 6 years, 5 years, $30 million, $6 million a year, a $2 million a year raise to take over a team that by all estimations with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant are ready to win now.
Well, it's good news, bad news. We're happy for Billy, unhappy for Gator fans, and whoever there was, the idiot that told a friend of ours, good riddance, get a life, brother. If you got to see Billy Donovan go, you got trouble.
Bad trouble.
You don't know quality when you see it. In the house is Terry Bavard. He's in charge of Homeland Security. Major is with us, back again. Glad to have you back, Major.
Good to be back. Thank you.
You're in charge of Homeland Security. What does that badge say right there? It just says, does it say Homeland Security on it?
It says Major, Marion County Sheriff's Office.
It doesn't say anything about Homeland Security.
No, it just identifies me as a major of the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
And, you talked about the ID. And,
Right.
Anybody can wear a badge. You can buy a badge anywhere, but the reality is, you wear the identification so people clearly understand.
I got you.
Certified law
I can't hardly miss you between your belt and your gun and your shirt and your lariat and whatever. So, and then what is the saying? Emergency? What does it say?
Yeah, emergency manager, because part of the department or the Bureau of Homeland Security has emergency manager.
Yeah. Now I know that quite well from my days in Charlotte County when we had Charlie hit us down there, and
exactly.
Emergency Management Service did a great job of getting people prepared. Emergency management portion of this is one of those things. It's like you have to constantly remind people of things that they think they know and don't really want to be bothered with until it happens.
Yeah, they do. And, and even us, to be honest with you, we have to constantly remind ourselves to make sure our hurricane packages and everything are all ready. And unfortunately for us in our business, we have to prepare our family and our house and our residents, well ahead of the event that occurs, because it may or may not come, because once we get our house in order and our family affairs in order, then we have to work on getting the community in order and making sure they're prepared. So, in about '04, when we had all the bad hurricanes come through here, we spent most of the time down at the Sheriff's Emergency Operations Center, dealing with that event. We have a brand new Emergency Operations Center. It does come under Homeland Security, and we like to think that it's basically been one reason why we ain't any hurricanes. We built this big center, and it's well built, constructed to withstand high capacity winds and tornadoes. And ever since then, we haven't had any problems. So we're holding our breath, knocking on wood, and I'm hoping we'll have another easy season.
It's like when you bring your umbrella to work, it never rains.
I think that's a good analogy. Yes.
And I just going through Charlie as I did living down there, and it was most bizarre. First of all, that it hit so quickly, and it took a hard right turn and blew through Punta Gorda and devastated where we lived there, and it looked like a war zone downtown. But beyond that, it was so weird for the next 2 weeks of driving home in the dark with no street signs, no lights, and obviously at every turn there was a law enforcement officer to make sure you belonged where you were going, and just and of course, not to mention not having power and all that. It's just it was almost like being in a third world country, I guess.
It is, and we were lucky up here because the winds we received here weren't as bad as what they got down there. And most people don't really realize. I mean, think about trying to go somewhere when there are no more street signs left, there are no more traffic lights, there are no more nothing.
Yeah, I kind of did that.
It's tough. It's tough.
Matter of fact, there were a lot of these landmarks that I used when driving to and from places that when I drove down the street in the daytime, wait, where am I here?
You're right. You talk about the hurricane, how it affected the community and stuff, and what a lot of people know, the back end response to that hurricane was what we're part of in the Homeland Security thing is a regional domestic security task force.
Yes.
And there's 7 of those in the state of Florida. We're part of Region 3, and we developed the team concept to respond to those. So really the plans put into place to deal with fighting terrorism were actually used in '04 to deal with the bad hurricanes and stuff. So we're pretty proud of that. One agency by itself can't deal with the issue like that, and we all have to come to each other's aid to do it.
And it depends upon where you live in the state of how the problems are.
It is.
For instance, down in Charlotte County, it's getting out of that southwest Florida because there's just a few roads.
Yep.
And the amount of traffic that you go up against getting out of there, like Ocala, where you have a lot of roads going out, you basically have a couple of roads going north and one going west. And when everybody gets on at one time, you can't go.
Yeah, you can't. We actually have a counterflow position where what we do is, let's say we had to evacuate like the south part of Florida, every road would go north. And so those plans are in place. There's a lot of plans in place today to deal with these things, just in case we have these problems. Marion County is an shelter impact area. So what we get is people coming from those areas coming up here and are staying in our area.
The high ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's get to the high ground. So, we're fortunate enough that we're not on the coast, that we have to be like an impact county. A lot of times we're shelters only. But as you know, like in '04, we got 4 hurricanes come through here, and they were pretty bad.
Yeah, and I just remember the flooding issue, which we don't have to worry about much here, but that was the biggest problem we were worried about. The emergency manager down there did a great job of warning us because I'm living on Charlotte Harbor.
Yep.
I mean, I'm right there a mile and a half from Charlotte Harbor, so when that comes, and they were amazed that they didn't get flooded. And it's just because the hurricane didn't sit over it long enough and kept on going.
Well, the tidal surge didn't set in.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as you know, it depends on what side of the eye you're on. A lot of people realize that they sought refuge inside their attics, but what they didn't realize is once they got in their attics, there's no place to go. So one of the things we tell people, if that is a part of your escape plan, you need to put an axe or chop or something in your attic so you can cut through your roof to get out.
Have a plan.
Have a plan. A lot of people drowned in places like Katrina and stuff like that when they were forced into their attics and couldn't get out.
Trapped. I thought about that. That's a great idea.
And,
Major Terry Bavard is our special guest. Ask the Cops, presented by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. We'll talk more about Homeland Security and how it's impacted or how it impacts things like Baltimore and other things like that. Coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Rendstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Rendstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever.
Chip, what are the two most important reasons people buy from Ford Lincoln of Ocala in Village Ford of Bellevue?
Easy. They've shopped everywhere else and found out that we have the selection and the price that can't be beat.
Exactly. People buy from us because they know when it comes to new Fords, no one comes close to our huge inventory of every model, equipment package, and color Ford has to offer.
And when it comes to price, Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue is unbeatable. Backed by our low price guarantee in writing.
We invite you to visit our websites at fordofocala.com or myvillageford.com. View our complete inventory of new and certified pre-owned Fords. Then check out the long list of positive reviews from our customers who have purchased or had their vehicles serviced with us.
Although selection and price are important, you also receive the benefits of a courteous factory-trained certified staff that just makes doing business with Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue a real joy.
Come in for the selection.
Come in for the price.
Come to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Back on Ask the Cops, Major Terry Bavard, program sponsored by Daniel L. Hightower, attorney fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. I don't know, Terry, were you born in 1976? You're a pretty young guy.
Yeah, I was born in 1961.
You're an Ocala boy.
I am Ocala native, born and raised right here.
Monroe baby like me.
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, and grew up right here in our hometown.
I did.
What do you think about what's happened to our fair city? How do you like it? Do you like it better, worse, the same? What?
No, I love Ocala. You don't realize how nice Ocala is till you leave it.
Yeah.
I spent 3 years in the United States Army and couldn't wait to get back.
Yeah.
And young people, they realize that and they get a little older. They want to be out of town, be not in Ocala because of the nightlife and stuff like that. But there's something to say about the peacefulness of the way the city is and things.
Slow Ocala is not such a bad thing sometimes.
No, it's not. I'm telling you. So,
I'm a transplant. I've only been here
You ain't from around here.
a little over 7 years. I'm from north of Jacksonville, Callahan. That area, South Georgia, I tell people, because it's farther north than some of Georgia is. And I lived in Statesboro, Georgia for a very long time. And I came down here and opened a restaurant with some buddies of mine in Gainesville, and I did the whole Gainesville thing. And when I stumbled upon Ocala, it reminded me of the South Georgia, laid-back, easy-living, great place to raise your kids type place.
it is. We raised both our daughters here. I can remember when there was nothing west of. The interstate, except a place called McNeely's General Store.
Yeah.
And it was 7.5 miles from there to McNeely's in the interstate, and there was nothing from MLK to the interstate. Nothing.
Yeah, and I actually saw Pine Avenue being paved.
Yeah,
It's called the 4-lane then.
Yeah,
it's
that
called the
goes
4-lane. There was no interstate. Go to the 4-lane, make a right. And so-
Most people don't know how the S curve got its name because they changed it where it straightened out and went out to Pine instead of going south by Monroe.
Yeah. That S curve was that was where a lot of activity went on before your time, but back in the days of the Chicken Ranch, which was out there, the Big D, which was out there, and later the Brahma, which was down the road.
Yep.
All the kids hung out there. Elliot's was on Elliot's restaurant on the S curve, was where we would go from the old high school. Sometimes we got to be seniors. We'd go out to lunch and we'd go to Elliot's for hamburgers, drive in, car hop, all that.
Did you ever think growing up here that we would need, and what you do is fantastic, and it's a safety net for us as citizens of Ocala, but as an Ocala native that grew up here, did you ever think there was ever going to be a need for Homeland Security in Ocala,
We didn't know what it
Florida?
was even. We didn't know what it was.
You didn't really know. I can tell you the defining moment in my career and me as a law enforcement officer, and the day that I knew it changed was on 9/11.
Right.
I knew on that day everything that we did from this point forward would be different in the aspects of dealing with criminal and criminal element and crime. At that time, most people didn't even know what terrorism was, or if you did,
It was stuff that happened on TV that you watched on the NBC Nightly News that happened in Israel.
It was, and if you were a local law enforcement officer, you felt that it was a federal issue. It has nothing to do with us, But we know today that fighting terrorism has everything to do with us. We are the front line, and we can't rely on the federal government and our brothers with the FBI and them to do everything because they can't. They simply have less people than we do. And that's why we have to be involved and engaged.
9/11 connected all those dots.
Really did. It really did. Yeah. So it connected all the foreseeable dots, too. And I say that for a reason. There was things that occurred prior to 9/11 that were foreseeable, that people saw and people talked about. Nobody either put the dots together before 9/11 or refused to recognize the fact they needed to put the dots together. And that's the reason why we do what we do today in the sense of fusing intelligence and information, having fusion centers and holding people responsible and accountable for what they do in fighting terrorism. The whole concept of how we fight terrorism, both not only with us, but even with the FBI has changed. It's a different ballgame for them.
What do you think? How did we miss the warning signs? The basement of the World Trade Center got blown up in '93.
That was brand new.
Got blown up in '93.
We didn't think much about that.
Timothy
But,
McVeigh blew
off.
up. Timothy McVeigh and Terry, what's his last name? I forget his last name. They blew up the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, killing children and everything. And it's almost like we said, well, those two things happen, but that's an anomaly. They
whack jobs.
Yeah, they're just whack. It's not really terrorism. When in actuality, we now look back at them and go, what in the world were we thinking? That was terrorism.
It was, and we all even us local law enforcement have to take some accountability in letting our guards down prior to 9/11. Had we seen what we saw, seen the information we had prior to 9/11, I don't know that even some of our brightest people could put it all together. But Today, it's a little different story. Now it's in the forefront of everybody's mind, and even local law enforcement clearly understands you should look at things as a potential terrorist type activity before. Israel, as we know, Israel's been, as you mentioned, their constant attack and for terrorism. Their philosophy and the way they deal with things is they have to look at every crime that's committed first as a terrorist act. Does this crime that just occurred, this theft, burglary, whatever it is, have any relationship to terrorism? And if it does, then they work it differently than they do a regular crime. And that's where we're trying to get to look at the understanding of, is terrorism present today in our community? And we've done some things with suspicious activity reporting and the fusions of intelligence and the building of these fusion centers throughout the state, that we're all talking more. We're all at the table. And I'm quite honest with you, the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, which is the FBI's primary unit fighting terrorism, is not the lead for us in the state of Florida to fight terrorism. I mean, we've taken this on. They're actually just a component of a larger thing called the Regional Domestic Security Task Force in the state of Florida. So they're a part of what helps us do our job. And we don't rely on them to do it. It's our responsibility to do it. We constantly say that the bottom line is a event will always start local and it will always end local. So when I tell you that the first person on a scene is going to be a deputy sheriff or a police officer, the last person to leave when that event's over with is going to be that deputy sheriff or that a police officer, and it's a local presence. And that's why we have to be involved in fighting this war on terrorism.
As far-fetched as it looks and sounds, and think about this, Hollywood has different versions, but the old movie, the Arabian movie of the aliens and the ship landing, some deputy sheriff out being out there to see it, that really is what happens. It is the deputy sheriff who's there. And
there's more of us. The FBI has a small force here in Ocala. Prior to 9/11, their primary function was to deal with bank robberies, right? Which was mine at the time. I was working in the major crimes unit. But their primary focus today is terrorism and fighting terrorism, not just international terrorism, as you discussed. It's both domestic and international terrorism. We have to pay attention to both today.
As far-fetched as it still sounds, just like Tom said, we didn't think much about the bombing of the basement at that time, or Oklahoma City. We didn't connect the dots. Now, as far-fetched as it sounds, without trying to frighten people, there are people in our community who are up to no good. There are people here who have other agendas. There are political enemies of our state in Marion County. You know that. I know that. You know more who they are and how many there are. I don't. But my question is, how can we help, other than the suspicious activities that you talked about, how can we help identify those people, and what do we do about it? And I know this is a longer answer than we're going to have time for, but just think about that for a minute, because we talked about the fact that we see some strange people coming through here sometimes, and we think that just doesn't look right. Now, the sheriff and the chief have taught us one thing since doing this show. If it looks funny, it might be funny, call it in.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to be an idiot and start calling, when your coffee spills at McDonald's like some people do. But by the same token, how much do we need to get connected? What should we look for? When should we call? And is this something that we need to do better? Do a better job on. So if so, how can we do a better job? So take a moment, take a breath, and think about that. And I pronounced your name right, Bovaird or Bovard?
Well, it's Bovard. So
I know the sheriff told me it was Bovard. That's how I've heard it. I thought, well, maybe I've been saying it wrong because it's spelled Bovaird.
Yeah, it is. My father, it's actually pronounced either way, Bovaird, Bovard. My father, who came here from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, he pronounced it as Bovard. It was easier. People related to it easier because of Brevard County. And that's kind of stuck.
And that's funny. It really sounds like a Florida cracker trying to say Brevard County.
It does.
Over in Bavard,
It does. And we kind of stuck with it. So, I always get a joke from my relatives when they call me at the office and I answer, Major Bavard. They start cackling and laughing. So,
where is your family from besides Pennsylvania?
Well, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, but it's both Irish and French descent. So, but the Bavard, if you run into a Bavard down here in Marion County, we're going to be related. That's
somehow that's spelling. You're the only Bavard I have ever heard of. So, Major Terry Bavard or Bavard, he prefers Bavard, is with us on the program. Stay tuned. Ask the Cops, presented by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, PA, fighting for accident and fixing justice since 1976. Listen to the program right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget, owner of the Proper Tease Salon in downtown Ocala. We are a Wella Professional Color Global Elite Salon, which basically means we really know what we're doing for your hair. We also specialize in Brazilian blowouts, hot heads extensions, and fabulous haircuts for men and women. We are located across from the downtown post office next to Southside Deli. Call us today for your appointment at 352-351-1771 or visit our website, properteasesalon.com. The Proper Tease Salon, giving classy a kick in the sassy. Come see us.
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. For a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey Checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Several of the officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray are now in custody after Baltimore's top prosecutor announced the criminal charges against him.
Maryland state authorities say Freddie Gray's death was homicide. His arrest was illegal, and his treatment by 6 police officers amounts to murder and manslaughter.
Fox Radio's Steve Taylor. There's been a guilty plea from a former ally of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in connection with a bridge scandal of 2 years ago.
It does turn out, according to David Wildstein, that this plot to close the lanes of the George Washington Bridge was revenge, political payback against the Democratic mayor of Fort Lee, New Jersey, Mark Sokolich, for not endorsing Governor Chris Christie's re-election.
Fox's Eric Shawn. And Walt Disney's Marvel Avengers Age of Ultron taking aim at weekend box office records. Its Thursday night haul, $27.6 million, easily outstripping what its predecessor took in. Fox News, we report, you decide.
It's been a long day. You've walked through 18 open houses, and you're pretty sure 10 of them have been ignored since the 80s. Your feet hurt, and your head is buzzing with words like wainscoting and butler's pantry. The idea of living in a van is starting to sound strangely appealing. But then you hear it. The sound of salvation, of hope, of Zillow. You glance at your phone to see a 3-bedroom Craftsman in the right school district, walking distance to coffee with a finished deck. It's pretty perfect, and it just showed up on your phone, like magic. When you sign up for mobile alerts from Zillow, we'll send you homes that fit your search criteria when they hit the market. You can view interior photos, historical pricing data, and learn more about the neighborhood right from your phone. Sign up today at Zillow.com or on our mobile and tablet apps. And to think, you wanted to live in a van. Zillow. Find your way home.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
On Mondays, AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to actress Vicki Lawrence. You know her from The Carol Burnett Show, from Mama's Family, and from Hannah Montana. She's coming on to talk to us about her career.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then medical reporter Bern Paresa will be in the studio. She's coming to talk to us about medical providers right here in Ocala.
Chris Foss and Stephanie Berendt from Bethany Christian Services will be speaking about breaking down adoption hurdles.
And then Dr. Wendy Tenhula is coming on with Mike Dolphin. They're speaking about the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Make the Connection campaign.
Have all of your vehicle questions answered by Matt Gibbs on Auto Repair with Personal Care.
And then Maggie Lamond Simone is coming on. She's written a book called Body Punishment.
Alyssa Hamilton has been featured on Dr. Oz. She'll be speaking about her new book, Got Milked, The Great Dairy Deception and Why You'll Thrive Without Milk.
All of that plus Fun with Joe on Mondays, AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Back now on the Voice of Ocala Ask the Cops. Friday Drive coming up this hour, and that means it's time to go all the way out to Prestige Auto and talk to the man in charge who is either in Bellevue or Ocala, two locations that serve you. I'm just going to guess right now either he is probably in Ocala because I know he's not. Basketball season is over, so he's not there. So let's just see where we can find Chris Spears. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
You make me laugh, sir. I'm good. I'm at this. I'm in Ocala.
Okay.
I'm in Ocala.
All right. We know where you're at. We have a hard time locating Terry Bradshaw sometimes because we never know where he's going to be. You're pretty much 2 or 3 different places, so you're not too far.
Yes, sir. I'm a little easier to find, but so are you. If you're not on the air, you're doing something to promote Ocala or with your pretty bride.
Actually, just probably doing all the household chores. Not really, but. Well, we got Major Terry Bavard here today from Homeland Security. We're talking about Homeland Security, and I want to remind you folks, you want to have a good, safe vehicle as well. And if you want to check them out at Chris Spears, we always tell you if you want to go tire kicking this weekend, you can get an advanced look by going on the website, prestigeforyou.com. But, Chris, last time I checked, you had a lot of nice cars out there, but as you always like to say, you don't want to keep them, right?
No, sir. Just for reflective, we were blessed with a good April, and I think we had at the Ocala store we had probably somewhere in that 100 car range of vehicles in stock, and last month we sold I think 78 or 9. So wow. You figure if you got 100 or something on the shelf and you sell 80 of them in a month, and there's always a few of those 20 that didn't sell that were just getting there or just getting clean. So we try real hard to sell everything we got in 30, 45 days, and some stuff just lasts an hour, but we're not a place that we can replace the vehicle, but not the customer. And I just love to see Ocala people be able to buy something in town. And even though I've got some great neighbors beside me, I guess one of our unique things is that we have probably more cars under $10,000 than virtually any of them. And another unique thing is our ability to get people a loan. About 8 years ago when the economy changed, the dealership started 2 finance companies ourselves, so Beacon Score is not part of our conversation when it comes to financing a car, which gives us a little separation in the market. But we're just blessed to be on your show, and I appreciate what Terry and them are doing to Chip Wildy's one of my friends, and everything that's going on with Homeland Security and making us safe. And as far as cars go, buddy, I try to do the same.
Absolutely, and of course, I know my family's experienced that and been customers at Prestige, and we recommend you go out and see Chris. One-stop shopping, and also he is the yes man, as we have named him, because he can make it happen for you, but he won't make it happen for you if he thinks it's the wrong thing for you to do. He always looks out for that. Doesn't want you to get in over your head with something you can't afford, but he makes it possible for you if you're having a little bit of a tight spot right now to find some financing and get a set of wheels so you can go to work and earn that money, and so you'll be able to pay for your automobile and your expenses. You have a great weekend, and the weather looks like it's going to be pretty nice, and we'll talk to you next week. And don't forget, check him out on PrestigeForYou.com. That's Prestige, the number 4, the letter U.com. Have a great weekend, Chris.
Thanks, buddy, for all you do, sir.
Thank you. Major Terry Bavard in the house. We were talking about looking around and assessing your environment and kind of be aware of being aware of what's around you is extremely important, isn't it, Terry?
Yeah, it really is. You kind of got to, the cops, the police officers, we all have what we call situational awareness, something we always think about in the things we do and things that make us feel uncomfortable. You just get that gut feeling, something you don't like, your senses are telling you something. And, and the public and the citizens have that also. So, when they see something that just doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, those are the kind of things we want to know about. It's hard to me to put my finger on what that is, right. It could be a backpack that's just laying somewhere that, it's just normally not there. It could be a suspicious activity, somebody that is just doing something that's dressed not appropriately for the environment and the weather we're in. We got some cold weather coming up, right? Even in the middle of May, we're having in the 50s. So it's not uncommon to see somebody running around with a little heavier jacket on. But, if it was 100 degrees outside, that would be unusual.
And you wonder what's underneath that jacket.
Well, you got to, and most people are nowadays, and it's some of the things we've got to look for, and those are the kind of things we really want to know about. The biggest problem is convincing people, no matter how much they are concerned about calling us and wasting our time, they need people, the citizens, and need to understand that we want to know any suspicious activity that happens. Now, an emergency, a guy with a gun, something like that, then you need to dial 911.
Right.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. But if you see something you don't like, there are ways out there you can reach out for us, and we can take a look at it. Because dealing in my environment, in the world that I work in the intelligence community, is totally different than sometimes working in the criminal aspect of it. We have to determine, is there a criminal predicate involved with what the person's doing, suspicious activity, whatever it is, where criminal law is a little different. You work on probable cause and beyond exclusion of all reasonable doubt and some things like that. But when you work in the intelligence community, that's a little more forgiving in the minor intrusions that we look at when we go into people's lives and stuff, because sometimes it's not even, you don't even know what's happening with some of the things that we do and what we look at. And so it's important for us to call us. The one program we do have is a thing called iWatchMarion.com.
Yeah, how's that work?
Well, iWatchMarion.com is basically it's a email site that anywhere from any server, any internet access, you can put iWatchMarion.com and send it off to us as an email, and that'll come to two places. It'll come to me here at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and it'll also come to the North Florida Fusion Center in Jacksonville, which is what we're part of. We talked earlier about fusing that data and bringing all that information together, and then so there's like a double thing where we'll both get it and be able to work on it. And then what the North Florida Fusion Center does is that information that you call in is then pushed out to the other 6 fusion centers in the state, each in a geographical location. And then the State Fusion Center, depending on what it is, may push it out even further, up north to Washington, D.C., and then eventually even to the desk of counterterrorism. Now, I can tell you that there has been things, information and intelligence have come into Marion County that has made it all the way to the counterterrorism desk in Washington, D.C., that had to be addressed and looked at. And had those things been in place prior to 9/11, maybe we wouldn't have had a 9/11. And so all these things were built after 9/11 to make sure that we do not have another event like 9/11. We don't ever want to get caught, with our pants down again, dealing with a situation like that, where, we have not failed to do our job in protecting the public. And that's what this is about.
And these people are chameleons.
They are.
You cannot see them. You may live there forever as your next door neighbor.
They could.
And you might know them as Friendly Joe or whatever.
They could.
And they wait a long time sometimes to change.
Right.
And so it's not like you can see a guy coming down the street with 2 AK-7s,
No, and you're not. Somebody that's radicalized, they're going to be radicalized in the ways that you're not going to be involved in. If they choose to get on the internet and search sites that help move them towards somebody's particular ideology, like ISIS or ISIL or any other radicalized type of event or structure organization, you as a normal citizen, we're not going to be doing that. Now, the sheriff pays me to do that. That's what he pays me to do, look at those sites and deal with that kind of stuff. But you as a person, you're not going to be involved in that. If you are, maybe we need to be looking at you.
Yeah,
right?
really.
So that's the biggest problem. If you see something, say something. It's a very simplistic kind of thing. If you see something, say something. Call something in. We never know what's going to be. I can almost assure you today, if somebody called and said, hey, there's some people learning how to fly planes and they're not concerned with landing them or taking them off, today there would be somebody's ears would perked up and go, there's a problem here. Unfortunately, that perking up did not happen in 9/11.
And remember, it was in the Venice airport where a lot of those guys are training.
That's right.
Right there. I was 50 miles from where I lived, right there.
We had an event in Marion County where a guy tried to steal a plane.
Right.
Right. And his last name in this public record was a guy by the name of Cerrone. He was arrested. And the bottom line is that there's intelligence bases that we look at, and we actually found an event that occurred in South Florida about in 2010. Now, it wasn't him, but it involved somebody with his last name. And remember, I told you, if you run into a Bavard, right, we're related.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I don't know about that name, whether it's common like Smith or whatever, but because that name were related.
It's different.
They were the same.
Yeah.
So, but same last name. But because of the event involved somebody that was arrested trying to board an airplane, getting on a commercial flight with knives, and then we had the event in Ocala where this guy tried to steal an airplane,
Red
flags, right? So we pushed it all together, sent it over to the FBI, and basically we looked at it and determined they weren't related, the events weren't related, so we really didn't have anything to worry about. But you have to have somebody that's doing that daily.
Assume it's terrorism.
And that's what I do. The world I work in is the assumption that everything could be terrorist related first, and then I determine that maybe it's not.
You mentioned that that's how you look at things, and that's how the Israelis have looked at things. So, if I'm to understand you correctly, then something as innocuous as a local drug dealer or a local burglary group that are fencing items and all could eventually be tied into money being raised to do terrorism.
How about a kiosk in a mall? How about that?
Selling phone accessories and stuff.
That's an hour and a half away from here.
That happened in Jacksonville. That's right.
So we really don't know. What we do know is that Florida and Marion County are touched to acts of terrorism, and so we have to be involved in dealing with the process of preventing an act of terrorism, and that's what we want to do. We don't want to be the best responders, and don't get me wrong. People should understand that we are more than capable of responding to acts of terrorism. Over the last 14 years, we have built robust units in place. Our bomb squad, probably one of the best equipped bomb squads. I put them up against anyone in the nation.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Very good. They have all the right equipment. The sheriffs make sure they all have the right training. So they are very good at what they do. So today we can absolutely respond to act of terrorism. But what we want to focus on now is the prevention of that act. We go back to the analogy of a baseball game or a basketball game. You used to want to get the people in the stadium and play basketball with them and beat them up really good just to prove that you can, because cops are competitive like everybody else, and we are. And but now today the theology today is, I'm going to stop you before you turn into my parking lot. You're not even going to come in my parking lot. You're not going to get off the bus. You're not going to come into the locker room, and you're not going to get on the court and play. And that's our goal, is to prevent them from coming here. And that's
I like
what our
that.
goal.
That's good. We come back. We have about 2 minutes to talk about the connection, if there is one, between what's happening in Baltimore and terrorism. Coming back with Major Terry Brevard on Ask the Cops, presented by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, PA, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. You listen to the program on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer. In everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Rinstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen, and this offer's good till 4 p.m. every day at Dairy Queen. A hot, juicy, char-grilled bacon cheeseburger, fried drink, and a sundae for just $5. Or try our famous chicken strips or wraps. Nobody offers all this quality and value but Dairy Queen, and this offer's good till 4 p.m. every day at Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Johnny, what are you doing in the bathroom? What are you saying? Wait, where are your toy cars? Oh no, tell me you didn't. Honey, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
I didn't do anything.
For once that's true, but little Johnny flushed his toys down the toilet and now it's broke.
Yes. No. I'll get the phone. What's the toll-free number?
866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, they do it. At Mike Scott Plumbing, from the moment you walk through the doors, it's evident that quality is key. From our fully stocked parts department to our fully trained service technicians who can help with anything from a clogged drain to your irrigation system and even servicing your entire septic system. Visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hernando or in Wildwood and let us show you how to turn your kitchen and bath dreams into reality. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Final segment with Major Terry Bavard, Homeland Security here from the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Spears is busy today over in Dunellen doing some things there.
Sheriff Spears?
Blair? Yeah, Sheriff Spears. Chris Spears and Sheriff Blair. We'll get it all right.
Yeah, we'll stick with Sheriff Blair.
I think that works best.
Okay.
Chris will be back in the office in a couple. He'll be here in 2 weeks and back on the program. So glad of that. And next week, Greg Graham joins us again. Terry, we talked earlier in the program about this, how, if at all, there's a relationship between what's happening in Baltimore and Homeland Security, and if so, how?
If I had to look at what I've seen, from the TVs, the reporting, the news and stuff, and the intelligence reports that come out, there's nothing that indicates anything's going on in Baltimore that's anything related to anything. It's either international or domestic terrorism wise. Obviously, the people in Baltimore are going through a hard time, and our hearts are out for them and everybody involved. I mean, it's a tough thing for any city to go through. So we're hoping it's resolved pretty quick for them.
But in the early investigation, in the early moments, when something like this blows up, we know about the civil disobedience thing that's happening today. It's a tragic what's happened, the disparity between the public and law enforcement. We know that. We also know that there's a lot of good people on both sides, and some thugs are making, doing most of the damage out there for sure. But is there something that would make me wonder if I were an ISIS person, I'd probably like to get in there and mix it up someplace.
Well, they can serve discontent, and we do know. And the one thing we do know from, if you go back to the things in the classes I've been to and some of the seminars and stuff, it goes back to what I've always said: if the Israelis are there, go listen, okay? Because they got some experience, and they'll clearly tell you that, and some of the things they've had to deal with, that there was unrest and things where there were acts of terrorism that were built into it and caused problems and things like that. It is a smelting pot of an opportunity, without a doubt. I haven't seen anything that lets me believe that it is, nor do I know anything. So, but the bottom line is there's always something going on.
I mean, the Boston Marathon, there was a connection that wasn't connected all the way back, but there was a terrorist connection there.
Right.
Sometimes lone wolf things are hard to understand.
They are.
You don't know if they're doing it as part of the operation or just doing it because they believe in the ideology, right?
Yeah. The biggest thing we worry about is the lone wolf. The person that we don't have any connection to any other groups or anything like that we have to deal with when he just pops up on the radar.
Timothy McVeigh blew up the Murrow Center because of the Branch Davidians.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Well, anyway, thanks for keeping us safe around here. Appreciate it very much. And thanks for coming in today, Terry. Appreciate it very much. And catch up to you down the road sometime. And maybe you'll take us through a tour over there sometime.
Well, thank you. We'd love to have you. And anybody that ever wants to speak to me about acts of terrorism or anything, just call the sheriff's office.
Great. Appreciate it. Good job on the show.
Thank you.
Be sure and tell the sheriff if he has to take off another Friday, that send you back over, will you?
I will. He would love to be here, but he is over in Denellen.
That's okay. We're glad to have you, and glad that he does what he can do. He's a busy man. All right, coming up next, it's the Restaurant Food Show. Stay tuned for that, followed by Southern Pigskin tonight. So you got plenty to come right here on this station.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
If your toddler seems to end up wearing more of their food than they eat, don't freak. Messy eaters, we now know, they tend to pick up languages more easily. Instead, our biggest dementia risk boils down to the foods we eat. Stay away from red meat, butter, sweets, and fried food. If you're trying to make a good impression on a man, do not worry about small flaws in your appearance like a chipped fingernail or a stain on your shirt, because chances are he won't even notice.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking: will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The 6 Baltimore police officers involved in the arrest of Freddie Gray are all being charged in his death. The state attorney general announced today. The mayor hopes this will ease tensions in her city.
There will be justice for Mr. Gray, there will be justice for his family, and there will be justice for the people of Baltimore.
Stephanie Rawlings Blake, meanwhile, the police union says the 6 are not responsible for Gray's death. President Obama has reportedly picked the place where his presidential library will stand.
The Chicago Tribune, citing a source, reports the Barack Obama Presidential Library and Museum will be built where the president started his political career, here in Chicago.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso. The bell will finally sound tomorrow night in Las Vegas. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight of the century is almost here.
I've been doing this a long time, but I've never seen anything build up the way this has.
Scott Sabella is the president of the MGM Grand, where the historic match takes place. Fox News. We report, you decide.
It's been a long day. You've walked through 18 open houses, and you're pretty sure 10 of them have been ignored since the 80s. Your feet hurt, and your head is buzzing with words like wainscoting and butler's pantry. The idea of living in a van is starting to sound strangely appealing. But then you hear it. The sound of salvation, of hope, of Zillow. You glance at your phone to see a 3-bedroom Craftsman in the right school district, walking distance to coffee with a finished deck. It's pretty perfect, and it just showed up on your phone, like magic. When you sign up for mobile alerts from Zillow, we'll send you homes that fit your search criteria when they hit the market. You can view interior photos, historical pricing data, and learn more about the neighborhood right from your phone. Sign up today at Zillow.com or on our mobile and tablet apps. And to think, you wanted to live in a van. Zillow. Find your way home.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like,
if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Hello, welcome to Hour 2 of the program. I'm Buddy Martin, joining in progress now with the Restaurant and Food Show. It's always a fun hour. We enjoy our discussion about food and the people discussing it with us today on the program. Cindy Nicholson from Mark's Prime Seafood, Mark's Prime Steaks House and Seafood. Seafood's prime too, by the way. Welcome back, Sandy. Glad to have you back. You weren't here last week. We missed you. And you got your skirt in the wind as usual. But
I do.
Good to have you back.
One foot in the door.
There you go. Just to have you here, that's a break. David Del Rio, the old reliable. He's here. He's the co-host of this show regularly, and he's back with Susan because Susan drove him today. Otherwise, he probably couldn't find his way, without her. So if Susan, don't ever take a vacation or anything, okay? Because we'll never get him back to the show. Good to have you. And if you listen to the program the last hour and the last couple of days, we want to get you in on this right away because it's going to be fun. It's one of the best things we do all year long because it honors mothers. It's a Mother's Day promotion contest we're doing called the Mother of All Mother's Days to make it really special for some mother. And the way you enter this, and we're putting the pieces together as we speak, we had a fantastic response throughout this, especially from downtown merchants and all people downtown, who just, Tom, in a matter of 2 hours, of boom, 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 it all just came together.
No, it was not 2 hours, buddy. We were sitting eating lunch on the outside area of one of the restaurants downtown.
Yeah. You say Harry's. We were having lunch at Harry's.
An hour and a half after we started this endeavor, and we had 4 clients signed up for it.
Boom, 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 that fast, yeah. And because it's a good thing. It's fun, and it's something that's going to be great for moms. And it's very simple. We'll explain later, and I'm going to get you guys to tell me verbally as well, since you can't enter, you're not eligible, neither am I. And what's the best advice your mother ever gave you? And so we'll talk about that later on in the program. Sometimes mother's advice gets better and better the older we get.
True.
And
true.
Our moms become a lot smarter, don't they?
That's right.
So good to have you back today on the show. Food experiences. Tom mentioned one that we had. I went back this week to 2 places that I have not gone in a while, and it's good to go back to places because you might, after a while, everybody goes through a spell where you're not in your A game, and you kind of say, I'm not going to come back here anymore, and you don't go for 6 months or whatever, and then one day you go back and it's really good, and obviously restaurants, look, tell me this, it changes. The restaurant business, you kind of go through a up and down or whatever you want to call it. Some are better days than others, right? In the restaurant business,
always evolving as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're right.
The team, the food, everything constantly evolves every day.
Even the server from a day to day.
Yes,
absolutely. It's everything. It all evolves.
Right. The experience itself, just like life, changes day to day. And after a period of time, you go to your regular place all the time and you kind of get accustomed to it, or you have a day when you have a bad server and you get ticked, whatever it is, and you don't go. Well, I went back to a couple places, and I'm pleasantly surprised at both. I'm glad I went. In my food experiences, I don't know if you guys got a chance to get out and go eat anywhere, but probably not, nor knowing you. I did
a drive-by. I did a drive-through,
you did?
actually.
Well,
a drive-through.
That's good. We can do talk drive-ins. I also had some take out at a local place, too, so just keeping it going. So we'll talk about that as well. I want to tell you about I asked a traditional question today later on. There's a different answer on this particular link I've got. But soul food, what is soul food? Not just as what we know as soul food, but I guess you could have soul food in other cultures that mean something different, which is native or organic to the society they're in. But for us, soul food, Dave, and Cindy, you too, means a little something different. Mm-hmm. And as we see now that so much of the so-called soul food is becoming now standard fare. Like I read an article last week, and we can discuss this, about how greens are becoming so important to everybody, right?
They're back.
I mean, used to be David collard greens growing up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and whatever, and now you're
restaurants.
and you're seeing them not served with soul food, but in upscale restaurants,
Yes,
Cindy.
yes. They're making a twist on them.
Yeah, and I guess also we're finding out how good they are for us, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, they're good for you. You know, and I've done several twists on it myself. You know, even in Tampa at Smoke Barbecue, which is a high-end barbecue place. You know, we did them sautéed to order, and oh yeah, they're definitely making a comeback. And I'm glad. I love them.
Are either of you kind of tweaking your menu at all as we go along here, or Cindy, you do yours like twice a year or something, don't you?
I do mine twice a year, but I have a special page that changes out every couple weeks. So it's picking up pace now with a new chef on board and being a little more creative, a little more new ideas to the table. Summer's here, so we're trying to do lighter fares, not such a heavy meal. Not everybody eats that heavy all year round.
Your chef did very well at the Silver Springs International Film Festival dinner.
Thank you
as
very
I
much.
fortunate to sit at your table.
Thank you.
And Dave, as you go along, you like to experiment and dabble and do things, and you add something every now and then. Have you added anything lately?
I haven't added anything, but I'm working on some different things right now.
You're not going to tell us, sir.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag right now,
Just
but
a little
a little bit, a little bit of lighter fare. You know, I'm working with that a little bit, but I've got a couple things in the works.
And then you have your old standards, fried chicken, of course, your steaks, Cindy, are always great and whatever. And I always ask you this question. I'll ask again. At Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood, what is your number one seller? Again, I want to ask you that.
Well, it's always going to be steak.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the
which
filet
one?
mignon. The
Filet
filet
mignon
mignon is the number
is the
one
number
for
one.
7 years straight.
Yeah, 7 straight years.
Yes. There's peaks
Okay.
and valleys throughout the year with other ones, but
Yeah. That's
continuously it's the filet. The large
okay.
filet.
David, I'll ask you again.
I got number 1 and 2 that switch back and forth every
Yeah.
week: shrimp and grits and fried
That's
chicken.
yeah. So 2 traditional sort of soul food things there that you got.
Absolutely based in soul food.
and-
Absolutely.
And of course we talk about eating exotic different foods. We love La Cuisine. You got a chance to go there, David. You never did tell us much about your meal, by the way, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
We chit chatted a little bit about it, but
Yeah,
not much.
yeah.
But that just shows you too that the old staples are always going to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
The steak and the potato and and the shrimp and grits and fried chicken, all the things that have been in our culture forever, So we do like plain, just old good food
Comfort
sometimes.
food. I'll say it again.
I know. You
the
like
trend,
that comfort
The trend
food.
is comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah, people really do.
Maybe you should just open a restaurant called Comfort Food and say, drive in and get your comfort food and take it home with you.
I did. It's called Eaton's Beach.
But you don't have a takeout window.
No.
You have
but
a takeout.
Come in so you can say hi to me.
Yeah, but you
know what I mean? I'll
those
come by and say
garage
hi.
doors are big enough. You can walk in, get an order, and take it out.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy, you went down there with your parents, right?
I did.
Yeah.
We had a
Yeah.
great time.
Okay.
Great time. I keep thinking each weekend that comes, I'm going to get back there and just another project on the table.
Well, now we got to get these two to come to Mark's one night.
Absolutely.
That's my
the
next
They
one.
finally
That's my
made La
next big one.
Cuisine. They finally made. It took them 6 months, but they got there.
That's okay.
And
As long as they've been
Susan's
some fun.
willing to drive. They've been getting out a little bit lately. They went down to the
Good.
theater and saw John Travolta,
Yeah,
and
that's
got their
right.
picture made.
Oh, you went to the movie.
Dave had his
I
big
didn't know
cowboy hat on, looking good, styling, man.
I was styling.
Susan
Excellent.
looked like $1 million there. She was glowing with glitter, so it's good.
Yeah, we had a blast. It was great.
Wonderful.
It was a
Good news to
wonderful
hear
time.
that.
And you, in your business, you just got to get away sometimes. It's
You know
so
what?
intense.
It is so important for all of us in this industry because we go through such major hits. The holidays are huge for the restaurants. When everyone else is enjoying it, we're pushing a team through. We're cooking around the clock. We're constantly being pushed. So to get out and step into a different environment is huge. I enjoy it every time, just to get out and go do something different.
So as much as you complain about going up to Chapel Hill, you really do kind of like it.
I do, leaving Friday. Friday, Chapel Hill
She
bound.
goes. Her car just runs outside. Is it running outside now?
It
I mean, just
knows
leave it
its
running.
path.
And
It knows its path.
It's packed up and ready to go. She gets in and goes. In
It's
fact, it
ready.
might drive itself there. I'm not sure.
It pretty much does at this point.
Okay, coming back on the other side, I'm going to ask you if I can wave a magic wand for you and say to you, we can fix this part of your business. Because I kind of know what it is. What's the most time-consuming and difficult thing you have to do that takes the most energy from you? And everybody has this part of the same thing. I'm going to wave a magic wand. I'll fix what that is. You tell me, we'll talk about that. And we'll find out what your mama's told you about what's the best advice your mother ever gave you. Dave Del Rio, Cindy Nicholson, right here on the Restaurant and Food Show. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey Checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
Hello, I'm Tom Schmitz, here to tell you about Ocala, a great resource for any business and a proud partner of the CEP. Ocala offers your business radically new technology called Next Generation Websites. Sites that do not wear out, they automatically adapt to new technology like smartphones, tablets, and the next big thing. Why pay for technology that starts becoming obsolete the moment you buy it? With Ocala, there is so much more. Built into the Ocala platform is an unmatched array of business solutions adaptable to any business. Ocala is a superb example that cutting-edge technology can grow and prosper in Marion County. And I should know because they handle my website, ktforfun.com. Ocala has assisted numerous companies in Marion County that have succeeded online. You can learn more by visiting them online at ocala.com. That's OCOOS.com, or drop by their downtown Ocala location at 116 South Magnolia Avenue. Find out how Ocala can provide your business with everything you need to succeed online.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Paul Navarro. He's a professional engineer, and he's talking about the ways we can urge the U.S. government to reform the federal renewable fuel standard.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Dr. David T. Tusher is coming on. He's going to talk about the symptoms of sports-related injuries in children.
Dr. Justin Sonnenberg is an assistant professor. He's written a book called The Good Gut.
And then Steve Berry will be on. He's an historian coming on to speak about National Preservation Week.
Erica Spiegelman is an addiction counselor and a recovering alcoholic. She's written a book called Rewired.
And then attorney John Fuller will be on from the law firm of Fuller & Fuller here in Ocala. He'll be answering your legal questions on Legally Yours.
Dr. Peter Stavanoha is a licensed psychologist. He'll be speaking about his book, Stress-Free Discipline.
And then travel expert Anthony James will be in the studio. He'll be keeping us up to date on the latest travel tips. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
We said the best stuff during the commercials, but we couldn't hear that one. Cindy Nicholson, Dave Del Rio, and his better half Susan here in the house on the Restaurant and Food Show. Let's start with it before we get into the mother of all Mother's Day. Best advice your mama got you, and me waving the magic wand. Anybody have any food experiences they want to talk about?
Well, I do want to talk again about La Cuisine.
Okay.
It just, I could not believe, I can believe, because I know Patrice is a very, very talented chef, but everything that came out of that kitchen, you know, the pour, it was just amazing. I was really